Thank you, Erin. If you feel the culture in Wimberley changing, it may be because Erin is the principal of the Catherine Ann Porter School and is truly transforming the culture for teenagers there to be grounded in love. It's an amazing thing. Our next reader is Jamie Harris.
And also thank you for creating this space, because I don't know what my creative life would look like over the last decade without you, so thank you. This is called, I'm going to start out with some poems and then a little bit of a memoir I'm working on. This is called Stratified, and it's kind of based off of a conversation that we'd had in a workshop where Angel was talking about our neighbors next door, that they had moved away, and new neighbors, new fancy neighbors had come in. It's called Stratified. We are layers. Our cells shed and mix in with ore and bone and form the common compressed keratin, our neighbors next door. The last male northern white rhino died today. It was all over the news. His picture capturing extinction. And now we treat each other like animals, sniper and photobomb. How many likes would it take to bring him back, this leathery, quiet animal full of imagined aphrodisiac? And would the Chinese buy it? How much does Puerto Rico cost in Bitcoin? What will future archaeologists make of Amazon Prime and drones? Will they take their tiny brushes and dust off ancient bubble wrap, dig through decades of styrofoam peanuts only to find the wrong order? Old shipments of bags of cat food, 4 cans of black spray paint I didn't order but never returned. The Egyptians were buried with lions. I died next to a 10-inch sun-bleached ceramic kaiju garden gnome. I wish I was a glacier making my mark. I wish I could quit sugar and credit cards. I wish I was made of wood, then I could petrify and be reincarnated stone. I want to scream and dig deeper. This is a more recent one. Abe encouraged us often to rip up books, which is so much fun and strange. This is an art book, and there was a girl from the 1950s in England on the Space Hopper, which is a yoga ball with a handle. You might remember them. They're the bouncy ball. She kind of looked like Janis Joplin. So this is entitled Girl on a Space Hopper, and maybe, hopefully, possibly the name of my new book. It's called Girl on a Space Hopper. Bounce twice, then once again. Where the rubber hits the road, rock it up on your tiptoes. Craft wings for your arms out of paper airplanes and paper mache. Put your arms up and into the shells, the vessels you've created. But let the glue dry first. Fly, bounce, lift off, fill your lungs. Embrace this clear-eyed trip and join the ballet. Go thin. Become a gelatin silverfish print. Become a satellite. Sign up for that magician's workshop on levitation in Vermont this spring, then start levitating at work. Start falling more often. Catch yourself. Take an extra step. Miss a step. Get disoriented. And trick your body. It's the only way. Argue and break up with gravity. Fight for custody of the equator and NASA. Take off and land so often that your palms finally stop sweating and you get used to the turbulence. Shave almost all of your hair off. Become the most aerodynamic person you can be. Recreate the dream where you're flying over your classmates in 8th grade, then invite them to your sky party. Become a wing or a blade. Think of yourself as a prayer flag. Think of yourself as silk. Think of yourself as dandelion seed. Think of yourself as red hot ash floating. So this is part of what I'm working on for a memoir, and in a few days I'll be taking this drive. It's about my drive home to my mom's house in Great Texas, which is north of us, about 3.5 hours. Once you hit the back roads of Texas, everything about the drive changes. The pace is faster and freer, but it feels slower. The road could go on forever. Your destination becomes less and less important. The back roads become my meditation, my retreat, and I'm filled with an odd mixture of familiarity and fear. I love how familiar Route 6 and Highway 317 have become. Traveling down the main streets of hollowed-out towns where fewer than 500 people have ever lived. Each time my drive stops being about going home and instead becomes time travel. I shave off years as I shave off miles. A younger me is up ahead. I start to remember my mother saying all gays were going to hell. I remember refusing to sign the abstinence promise ring agreement in Bible study at the new Baptist church we'd recently joined. I figured what was the use? I wasn't going to get pregnant anyway. I remember being ashamed of my kissing girl dreams. At 14, it feels strange to hide a thing you've never told anyone. I stopped to stretch my legs in McGregor at my favorite antique shop, Hidden Talents, Gifts, and Apparel. It's dusty and crammed with stuff. Glassware could come crashing down with any wrong move. I'm different here. I don't say wife or partner or girlfriend or spouse. I call her my friend. It's turned into a reflex. I hate the feeling of it coming on. I can't stop it. I'm in the middle of a conversation and fear steps in. I was talking with a shop owner about his knee replacement. I could relate. We talked about recovery times and how hard driving can be. We talked about how important it is to find a good doctor. And before I could stop myself, I edited myself. I changed the story of my life to make this man feel more comfortable, or to save myself the false shame or awkwardness of watching he and his wife's confusion or disgust set in. Back on the road, I cross over Squaw Creek. When was it given this name? I passed the Coin Laundry, Bill's Automotive, farmland and fences, goats, a few painted horses on a hillside, and a brown horse in a front yard staring at me in the highway. I pass a little church with, "Trust me, love God," spelled out in flimsy black plastic letters, neatly filled in rows. Twice I pass roadside rug sellers with 8 by 10 foot Confederate flag rugs on display. I think about stepping on a Confederate flag and getting it muddy. I get more confused. 9 geese fly south in formation. I count them, 4 on each side of the V, 1 in the lead. Something in me envies them. They have 2 homes, 2 nests. Their rhythms and their migration is fraught with different kinds of dread: cold, hunger, predators. For a long stretch, I'm alone on the road. I drive faster and look up at the broad blue sky flung wide. A host of small, almost rectangular clouds are exiting left. The clouds and I are traveling in opposite directions. And 2 more. This is a poem about being a golden lion tamarin. If I were a golden lion tamarin, I'd never have to do my hair again. It would be as wild as me, matted one day, frizzy the next. If I were a golden lion tamarin, I would terrorize the tourists, slap their palms and steal their rings. I'd whisper bad advice into their ears and generally be a nuisance. If I were a golden lion tamarin, I would swing and holler. I would scratch and be free. I would sneak into the temples and wreck things, wreck the incense and eat the offerings, eat the oranges and bananas, eat the hard-boiled eggs and the pink flowers left for the gods. I'd drag myself over the sand in the Zen garden. I'd sit there and ruin it. I'd bust up meditation sessions with my screeching. People would be strangely drawn to me and equally repulsed. Children would love me. I'd let them catch me. I'd hold new things sacred. Leaves would be my prayer flags, stones my prayer beads. The wind would mean something else to me entirely. And this last one is about beets. I recently got into beets, and I've been trying to work on this poem for a long time, and I wrote it this morning after much hemming and hawing. It's called Beets, and it's about my mother. There are beets in my salad again. They stain the goat cheese pink red, pink purple, on white, on leafy green. I'm 40 years old and I've never tried a beet. I've been afraid to eat them. We never had beets in our house growing up. For my mother, beets are a bad memory. The youngest of 8, passed around the family, her own mother too tired to care for her. She grew up on a farm in Indiana. They had cows and an outhouse until the day she left. Her oldest sister, Aunt Jean, beat my mother on her 16th birthday, black-eyed Susie. Aunt Jean, who shoved beets down my mother's throat when she was a child. So an alliance formed in the womb. The first day I saw a beet, I decided to hate them because they were the color of my mother's pain. Memories, the heart's hieroglyphs. But today, the curse lifted, and I tried one. Sweet and earthy, delicious. They taste exactly the way they look. Hyper-colored garden candy. Enjoying them seems wrong somehow. Eating them feels like betrayal, so loaded, with vitamins. I go online and read about the 9 amazing health benefits of beets. I tried to imagine my mother before me, a somewhat impossible task. I remember Aunt Jean, who always wanted to kiss you on the mouth. Aunt Jean, who loved cardinals and playing cards and Caffrey quarter.